local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker in one more.
Des Moines Pearsonell.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pearsonell, but Pearsonell has confidence in Pearsonell.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos as always. To my left, Des Moines Pearsonell joins me in studio on this Thursday. You guys can always join in. 402-464-5685. We're streaming only. We got college hoops on the brick and mortar. That one started at 6 o'clock. But if you're listening, that means you found the stream already. Like I said, you guys can feel free to comment in. Currently on the TV here in the studio, we do got BYU and Alabama. Des Moines Pearsonell, I can't remember who'd you pick yesterday. Bama. Yeah. This game started, I've had it in the corner of my eye. Bama, I believe it's up to 13, maybe it's just 12 threes at this point. Unreal start for those guys. But we're talking a little bit about this on We Talk Facts. You know, are we out of the era of the true double-digit seed upsets? Like, I know Arkansas got the upset, but they got money, right? When it comes to NIL, like, you don't get Calipari unless you don't.
No, I don't think we're out of that. You can have the better players. You can still have an off night. You know, the underdogs are still the underdogs for a reason. So I don't think we're out of the woods with that.
I should word it a little bit better. Like, I don't think we'll never see an upset again, but it just feels like they'll definitely be less and less. Because if you're, you know, playing for the Peacocks the one year and you have a good run, March Madness, there's no shot in hell that you're back on that roster. Unless you really don't care about the money, which is very few.
I mean, you'll have your Cinderella stories where people will stick around and be faithful to things. Not everybody or majority of people, you know, are money hungry. I mean, look at, I know not to kind of switch to other things, but look at who's the cornerback that won the first round for the Eagles? Nelson.
Might have been.
I want to say like Quentin Nelson or something like that. I can't or Quentin Mitchell. Something.
Oh
like that.
yeah.
So he was at Toledo. They came out and said Bama wanted him bad, and he chose to stay. So I mean, you'll see a lot of. Well, I won't say a lot. I think it's not going to be, you know, unseen or rare with those type of situations and everything like that.
I think it's going to be pretty rare. I think these brackets are going to be easy. The year's coming forward. Well, I shouldn't say easy, right? Like, you're got to do better than everybody else in there, depending on how big it is. But it's just,
I mean, okay, well,
a lot of chalk.
What if you get, you know, more Auburn situations to where you get, you know, grown men that are playing, you know, I mean, there are going to be those types of things, or, you know, or what about, you know, some of these big schools going down?
Auburn's paying that money, though. That's why they got a bunch of 23-year-olds.
Okay, but still.
Like as soon as, you know, say, what was the team? Where was Golke from? What am I blanking on? The black and gold jerseys. Jack Golke, the 3-point menace. I want to say they had a bear for their mascot. Either way, you're not going to school like that. And when it gets to a bunch of 23-year-olds, they're not going to have the money to keep those guys around. Like, those guys are moving on. And then they're going to a school like Auburn, Arkansas, Duke, Kansas. Somebody who has the money, even if they're going to sit on the bench, like, they'll be making a paycheck.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, but it definitely
if it puts you in a better situation, you know, with getting you to the next level, more experience and everything like that. I mean, it's
a rational move that I'd say 9 out of 10 kids are going to make.
It's going to be, you know, a lot harder for the kids coming out of college. I mean, coming out of high school, because I mean, unless you're, you know, the top of the top, I mean, you might get overlooked just because you're not old enough.
Yeah, and we see that a lot already. Well, at least we're almost done. Well, we are done with the COVID year officially, right? That ended this year, 25.
I think so, but I mean, you still got people that are going to go to JUCO. You can be in JUCO for 2 years and then move up.
Yeah, forgot about that rule.
And still got all 4. You know, so I mean, is COVID year really, you know, done? I mean, yes, it's done, but I mean, it's you know, it's a new variant. We can say that.
Yeah, and the new variant's worse. The 2-year JUCO variant. You know, that's the problem with like the media today is that story kind of just like came and went, but that's insanity that you're going to have guys that you can go play JUCO for 2 years and like you still get 4 years of eligibility. Then you had an injury year. Then you had a redshirt year, maybe a couple injury years. I mean, like, yeah, 29-year-olds. Yeah, you're going to have a bunch of old grown men playing college sports and hopefully you get a few masters out of it. Again, like
hopefully if you do it right.
Yeah, if you walk out with a bachelor, that's a disgrace.
You're a sick individual.
Yeah, you almost ought to give that back to the university. But I don't know. I just, when it comes to March Madness, I do think we're going to just see, and this is with all sports, just a lack of upsets. We'll see them. There'll be teams that defy the odds, and maybe that'll make those upsets that much sweeter. But this first real March Madness where it feels like we're kind of settled into the NIL, and it's like these small schools don't stand a chance.
I'm not saying they don't necessarily stand a chance. I think just well-rounded overall, it was a strong year for basketball.
That SEC, how dominant they are.
And I mean, we just about every, majority of every, SEC team, whoever they've gone up in, they've shown a dominant showing, and they're just playing at a different level. I mean, you pick the right group of guys to, form a team and everything like that. So I'm not saying that that's going to be the new norm or anything like that, but it's hard to say that with how things went. This year you just kind of got, a good hand right now.
Yeah, and we went through it. We won't go through it again, but all the teams, all the SEC teams that are likely to make it to the Elite Eight. And right now you do have Florida only up by 3 on Maryland. That one tipped off around the same time as this Alabama BYU game. BYU down only 11 points. And I say only 11 because Bama has 53 at half. They're on pace for 106 points and, with no overtime in a March Madness game versus BYU. I don't see BYU pulling it out the way Alabama's offense has been going. And then obviously you got Duke, Arizona yet to play, Ole Miss, Michigan State, Auburn, Michigan. And as I mentioned, you got number 10 seed Arkansas, who's favored over Texas Tech, or no?
I think that's going to be the game to watch.
ESPN's got Texas Tech by a pretty good margin, 70, and take it with a grain of salt. Their matchup predictor usually isn't very, I should say, accurate when you get to postseason.
If Arkansas can hit threes and play a decent game, I think they will overpower Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a heck of a team. They make shots, they play fast, they dictate the pace of the game and everything like that. Arkansas can do that, but if Arkansas is not shooting well, I think Texas Tech will get them. But if Arkansas is shooting well, I don't think Tech stands a chance.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I know. It's like I haven't watched a ton of Texas Tech. I won't lie to everyone's face, but looking at it, they're a good team. But Arkansas, just the size they have, is unreal, and the athleticism. And to your point, if that team's it's I use this example all the time because it's the best example. It's like you take that Texas A&M team that Nebraska faced, just freaky athletic. They're not supposed to be shooting well. When they start shooting well, all of a sudden it's just ugly. A nightmare. Yeah, and you don't have a good counter to anything they're doing offensively. So if Arkansas stays hot like they have through the first 2 rounds, and this is why I'm still leaning Arkansas, that Kansas game too. Kansas was red hot in that first game where they came. That was that 7-10 matchup, and Kansas, that wasn't a weak Kansas team. Those guys
they were good.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't bad. So I think again, similar styles of when they just kind of get up there, we're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger, we're more athletic, and they're gonna dominate. If they're knocking down shots. Like I said, regardless, Texas can keep up for a minute, but at some point in time, I think Arkansas is the more dominant team that will dictate the pace of things. Whether if they want to slow things down and get an easy bucket, or find a mismatch and go after that, or you want to turn the heat up and turn into a track race. I just don't think Texas Tech has enough fire if Arkansas is hitting on all cylinders.
And they've proven they can play both ways, right? Yeah. Kansas was hot out the gates, uptick offense, and they played with them and had the better offense. And then they played St. John's, who's got the best defense of the tournament, and they beat St. John's. So it's you beat a really good offense and you beat the best defense. You can make arguments Houston, but nonetheless, Ken Palm's going to have them at number 1 in this tournament. And then, Texas Tech, would they play Drake? And then who am I missing? Yeah, their first round was UNC Wilmington. Shout out to Wilmington, the 14 seed, but they get blown. Well, they didn't even get blown out. They win that one by 10, 82-72. And then versus 11 seed Drake, you're like, okay, maybe they'll pick it up here. They still win pretty convincingly, but 77-64. Texas Tech hasn't looked dominant. The way you're expecting a 3 seed, who gets 2 double-digit seeds handed to him, only wins one of those games by single digits.
I mean, they didn't necessarily have to. They if you watch them play, I'm not saying that they won it with ease, but it looks smooth. It wasn't a struggle. They didn't get panicked and everything like that. And that could be, the hare and the turtle type race. You saving, your energy and certain things for
Arkansas.
You can't not to say you kind of match your competition, but I can see it. But if you also look at Texas Tech and who they played in their league and whatnot, I think they split with BYU. And they took, I think Houston I think Houston won both of them, but I mean, it was still relatively close games. So you know that they can compete and play at a high level with teams and whatnot. So it's not necessarily overlooking, but they're more of a team that, you know, they kind of match whoever they're playing, and still it's like, okay, well, we don't have to play our A game today. We can beat you with our B.
Yeah, and to your point, they beat Kansas as well not too
Yeah.
long ago before the Big 12 tournament. They also got a win over Baylor, another tournament team. They lost to Houston by 8. Trying to look at other.
I think they played them both twice.
They beat Baylor 2 times actually. They did lose to Arizona. They beat Arizona once though, so they did split the series with Arizona and some other. I'd say that's probably the most notable wins. Later in the season, you can go back earlier and pick some out. But they did split it with Arizona. They beat Baylor twice, both times they played them. And when they played teams like Houston, they didn't necessarily get blown out. Only a 8-point loss, like I mentioned there. So I wouldn't be terribly surprised by it. But when we're talking about the tournament, I'm always going to go with a team that just looks red hot. And right now, that's Arkansas. But that being said, though, Maryland and Florida, that one's close. Maryland has the lead now, 30-29. As we get some highlights up there on that screen. I'm a little bit surprised to see Maryland in this one. You've been really high on Maryland, and I liked them. In my bracket, I have them going this far, but I have Florida beating them, and I thought it'd be pretty convincing. But so far, Maryland has been playing awesome. What do you see in Maryland this year that has you so high on them?
They're a collective group that is just playing well together. Even in the Big Ten, you know, they were a physical team. They're not afraid. Like, you know, Florida is huge. You know, Florida has been, they won that, you know, the SEC, this and that. Like they're Maryland is not backing down. They're not afraid of, you know, who you are and whatnot. They're going to play their game.
And Reese is a real leader on that team as well.
They I don't think they match up as far as size, but with gelling together and just understanding, okay, you know, the chemistry of whatnot. They're a good team. They're a good group of guys that can get some things done. You know, they were a strong team, you know, in the Big Ten. I just think, you know, second half, Florida will start to kind of lean on them, and they'll start pulling away late.
Yeah, and I want to look at the box score to see how the 7-footer is doing right now. So Florida's bigs looks like they've been limited a little bit. One's only got the 8 points. Their high is Will Richard with 10 points. And over on Maryland's side, to your point, it's just kind of a group effort. They only played 7 deep, though. And as we pointed out earlier with Florida, Florida is just one of those teams that's so deep. Right now, they've played 8 guys total, but they want to say they typically play 9 at times. The challenge with Florida is just like, can you keep it up in the second half?
Yeah.
Because like Maryland's going to do a good job. They're sound, but as I mentioned, they only play 7. They've been playing 7 about this entire tournament. I don't think they ever played 8 so far. And when you're playing Florida, you know,
you're gonna need bodies.
You're going to have trees.
You got a 7 foot in there. At some point in time, you know, the fouls might start to, you know, add up, and that's kind of what you don't want.
Well, when the short guy on the team is your point guard at 6'5", that's both problems for other teams.
That ain't short. Not by any means.
No, I mean a 6'5" point guard, and then like you mentioned, you got a couple 7-footers, and then you got some 6'10" wings. It's just like it's a team with a ton of size. So again, that's why I'm a little bit surprised to see Maryland only down by 1. 4 minutes left to go in that first half. The other biggest game that I would argue, and I don't believe this one's tonight. I think that one's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night, Kentucky versus Tennessee. I know we've talked about it a little bit already, but I think that's probably the game where if you're going to flip a coin, that's the one. I couldn't tell you who I would feel really good about. I can see Tennessee winning it. I also can see Kentucky. Who do you got?
I want Kentucky to lose.
I think most people do.
Like I said, I'm a Calipari type of guy. You know, John Wall in that era, and what they did and whatnot. I like the way, you know, that coach, his style, how he gets after things and whatnot. And I might be bitter. I may be mad and upset about that, but who cares? You know, so I'm taking Tennessee. I really don't like Tennessee either, but I rather, you know, me being petty and whatnot. I hope they don't, you know, have as much as success with, you know, John gone out of that building.
Yeah, I could see that one. I still hate that move from him as well. But if I had to give the nod, I'd go Kentucky.
Yeah.
We talked about it the other day. I know it's hard to quote unquote beat a team, you know, three times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at them, their resume when it comes to playing the really great teams, they take L's. Like Alabama, they lost, and they lost to Auburn, they lost to Alabama again. They beat up on Tennessee, but they also lost to Ole Miss. They also lost to Arkansas. They also lost to Vandy. They lost to Bama again. Texas A&M, or excuse me, they did beat Texas A&M, and they actually got a win over Florida mid-year. But down the stretch, they've been losing to a lot of these teams that are still in the tournament right now. I don't feel great about it. I'd probably go with Kentucky, Tennessee, either way. At least if you beat Kentucky in there, that knocks out another SEC team. And then which side are we forgetting here? On the final side, we do got BYU, Bama, but Duke, Arizona. I think we both went Duke on this one.
Yeah, Duke. I don't think they're gonna. I have a feeling they'll get upset at some point. Maybe not this one, but the next round for sure. Because you got more teams that can kind of line up with what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say they've had an easy rise through the tournament, but it hasn't been a gauntlet as some of these as other people have. And who was a really good test that Duke played?
We'd have to look. I mean, it's with them. It's like the North Carolina game is always good, regardless of what the records are. But they beat them both times. They did beat Louisville. Let's see. They lost to Clemson. So that one might be a little bit surprising. Yeah, they did sweep North Carolina this year. They beat Auburn early in the year. They lost to Kansas early in the year, and they lost to Kentucky early in the year. Man, they really do benefit off their schedule quite a bit when you go through it.
So who have they played? Not just in the regular season, but like who have they played?
Your big wins are North Carolina, Louisville,
and they got the least amount of travel time.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're Duke they always get favored, and
they did beat Arizona very early in the year.
So okay, who did they have the first round or their first round?
First round, they beat up on. I got too many pages open over here. First round, they beat up on Mount St. Marty, 93-49, and then they beat up on Baylor, 89-66. And now they got 4-seed Arizona.
Again, like that's a cakewalk for them.
It is.
But
they're also proving
Flag didn't have to play in neither one of those games, and they would have been perfectly fine. Well, who else can you say that with? They're like for the rest of the tournament. Your number one guy is out, and you feel as confident and to go out there and win.
For the first two games, I think they probably drew the best.
Yes.
But because this year it has been tough, I will say if you're a 1 seed, awful year to be a 1 seed. Because just to get through to the Sweet 16 sucked for a lot of these schools. Like if you're Auburn, Creighton, say what you will, but a night like that's a tournament team.
That wasn't an easy game,
and that's a tournament team.
If Creighton was on another side, or in the Southern Division, or in a different region with things, Creighton might have got to the Sweet 16.
They looked good. I mean, you put him with that's a team. I'd like to see Creighton play Duke. I wonder when the last time that ever happened was.
Who's on the other side in Duke's bracket?
This is why it'll be fun. BYU or Bama. Both, even BYU right now looks like they could be a problem. Like if you're not locked in BYU's offense, I know they're down by 11, but if anyone watched that first game, no one's sitting there saying like, well, BYU looks like they're outmatched here. It's just like they're playing crazy, but Alabama's just on another level right now. Alabama would beat anybody today, just the way they're playing if it continues in the second half. But again, going to like these 1 seeds and it just being a bad year, like if you're Florida, you get 8-seeded UConn. Like another really tournament.
Formal national champ.
Yeah.
2-time. Like that's not. I know they were sweating, and like I said, I mean, even
and they won that game by 2. Because I mean, say what you will about Dan Hurley. I've given my opinion. I don't think he's the nicest guy out there, but he's a damn good coach. And like you said, I mean, you're playing the defending champ right there. That's a second round. You got the defending champ
early,
and you just barely scrape by. I mean, even a team like St. John's. You're to the 2 seed. You get Arkansas. Arkansas is good as hell this year. That's a problem. Houston, you get Gonzaga. Another just maybe not a blue blood, but certainly flirting around there.
There, when you think basketball, you can toss there outside of maybe 4 or 5 different universities. You can toss Gonzaga's name up there, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, you're right about that."
Yeah, and so it's been brutal. And as we mentioned, Duke probably had the easiest one. Like, if you were the 1 seed, would you rather draw Creighton, UConn, Gonzaga, or Baylor in that second round? Easily. Yeah, everyone's taking Baylor in that. Easily. Even for that first round matchup, I don't know much about Mount St. Marty, but that looked like the easiest 1 seed. Yeah. But yeah, it just goes again to show. And that's why again, earlier, I was kind of asking about parity, and it's like this March Madness with the way NIL goes around, even a team like UConn with Dan Hurley, I don't know what their money NIL looks like and how it compares, but it just feels like you're going to have those schools at the top pretty consistently, where that 1-8 seed is just going to be elite teams, and you're rarely going to see your Jack Golke, your UMBC Golden Retrievers, St. Peter's Peacocks. What are the other good ones? Loyola. Trying to think of all the great upsets in recent years, and I think we're probably moving away from that.
Florida Gulf.
Yeah, Florida. We'll wrap up with that one. The best Cinderella team that ever was, just because of the dunk and the way they were doing it. I mean, it was alley-oop city. It was like you're watching the Clippers.
I wouldn't
March
say the
Madness.
best because, I mean, Loyola got far last year, didn't they? Or who was it that got really, really far?
Loyola Chicago got pretty far. I want to say they made it to the Elite Eight.
Or the Oakland team, they didn't get
That's Golke. He was on the Oakland squad. I think they lost in the second round.
Second?
Yeah, I think it was maybe it was the third round, but I want to say he played like crazy. Got the record for like most threes in a March Madness game, or tied it. And then the second round, he went off, but I think they lost. Yeah, sad story for Golke, but they got the first round upset.
You say that. What about when VCU went to the Final Four a while back? George Mason, when they went off a while back. So I mean, I can't really.
I shouldn't say the best one, but most entertaining out of left field, because you're watching this team and you're. I mean, it was just like watching the Clippers. You're like, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
And you're like, why have I not heard anything about them? I'll put that as one of the most fun. When it comes to the great, I put St. Peter's Peacocks up there too, because they had to knock off. Well, they knocked off Purdue when Purdue had Zach Edey at the time. The next year, Purdue got revenge somewhat. They made it all the way to the championship game, but that St. Peter's Peacocks team that was undersized at every position. I still don't know how that team handled Edey at all. Like, the roster makes no sense. You're like, all right,
you got them frustrated or flustered or
send your 6'2" guards at him, just hassle, and then it's like you told your 6'7" center just like hold on for dear life. Unreal, but they did it away and they pulled it off. And if I remember convincingly, it was the last few minutes of it was them just kind of dribbling out the clock. Like, it wasn't even a game where they hit it on a crazy buzzer beater. They just came to play and were better that day. With that being said, we'll throw it to break. We'll talk some Husker football on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Dumb Punt Hour. Good morning, Pearson L. Harrison Arns. Talk to you in a little bit.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it against sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pearson.
All right, welcome back in segment number 2, Dump Punt Hour, just streaming only, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961. Appreciate you guys joining in via the stream. You can also join in the text line. As we talked a lot of March Madness there on segment number 1. We still got BYU Bama going on Ticket Studios. BYU down by 10. I believe they just got a technical as well. So tempers flaring up a little bit in that one. It's been a pretty back and forth game, as well as you got Maryland and Florida playing on the other side. And the morning, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting that dunk out of BYU right there, but they right there, 45 to 53. And this game just feels like it's gonna go back and forth until it's over. So I won't give you every single score update, but we'll switch things up a little bit here, and we'll be quick on this one, and then we'll officially move on to Husker football. Nebraska basketball, I know we talked about it a little bit. Raleigh Wooster is out officially with that foot injury, as we mentioned. They got Arizona State, the only team left in Nebraska playing some postseason basketball. You can tag on it if you want. The college basketball crown, Fred Hoiberg, Nate Lenzer. They did lose a little bit of staff there. One of their assistants. What does this team need to do? Broad picture, just to go and win the damn thing and have something to bring home.
Have people show up. I mean, it's been like that. I mean, I wouldn't say half of the season, but a good length.
You could say over half the season. I
was trying to be nice.
When no, there's no reason to be nice. Like, I think those guys would tell themselves the same thing.
Maybe. I mean,
Well, you listen to like Bryce Williams. I don't know personally like how he feels about it, but he was
he did
one
his
of those
part.
guys.
What he gonna say? Like, I mean, like.
Well, what I was gonna say is like when it came down to postseason play, it's a bit of a weird spot today, especially college basketball. It's like almost the coaches got to talk to the guys. Are you feeling it? And Bryce is one of those guys. Like, yes, we're not ending it like this. So I know he's gonna be willing to show up, but the problem is he's always been the guy I've been certain about. It's some of the others.
That's been the issue. It's nobody but him.
I needed X.
Well, I wouldn't
to
say no.
that.
I wouldn't say nobody but him. There's a few that they have hot streaks.
Not saying that he's this guy and that he's not all in for it, but it's like I need like a Bert K. Barry Eucton to come out and being like, yes, I want to come out here and put it on the line one more time because he's got another year here in Nebraska. So it's like put down some foundation. You got another if you choose to stay, right? With the portal window, you never know, but like you can buy yourself some good minutes, build up your stock, you get Rink Mast back. I think Rink Mast elevates your game a ton if you know how to work around him.
I mean, like I said, playmaking ability of him to. He's not a selfish person, and he can get an easy or a quick bucket. Like it doesn't matter, and even if it's not for him, he creates easier buckets for the people around him.
And he can get a tough bucket.
Yeah,
sometimes. And anytime you get a center that you can just. It's not always there, but when it is there, when you have a center, I don't care if it's undersized, that Rink Mast is or not, and he can just go down against the best defender in college basketball, or arguably in Zach Edey, and just be like, yeah, I'll go get us a bucket right here. Like, we've seen the offense stall out. It's awesome when you have a Derek Walker, a Rink Mast, a big who can just, you don't really have to set it up. You don't need a ton of ball movement. You just got to find that one angle, get it down low, and just break the lid off the basket, and that usually gets things rolling. One more thing, and then I promise we will talk about Husker football, but you did send me something this morning, and your heart might have changed. Who is the NBA MVP?
Man, it's hard not to say.
I'm telling you, you just got to watch enough of him.
It's hard not to. And for some odd reason, I feel like the NBA doesn't do enough.
They want SGA to win the MVP more than Jokic.
They don't do enough to, I guess, to showcase him a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people kind of feel a certain way, because it's like I lived in Denver, and they it's out there everywhere. They're crazy for him.
Mm-hmm.
But the more and more I realize, I'm like, okay, well they're not pumping them up as they kind of were when Jamal Murray came off of his injury, that first title run and everything like that. It's kind of been like, yeah, go back to your corner though.
Yeah, and that's what I don't understand is like, oh man, if you could just figure out a way to put that guy in front of people's eyes more often, like you get a whole new audience. Like the old heads love it because it's, it's the stumbling, slow, bumbling, some bar character, and he's just awesome. Like you can't try stopping it. And he's the ultimate guy where it's like he could play in any generation. I don't care because people are like, oh, Mutombo. Physically, he's just not, he's outmatched athletically. I'm like, he's playing in the most athletic version of the NBA today, and he's still got those guys guessing on where the hell. It doesn't matter how athletic you are if you don't know what the move is.
Yeah.
And that's what he does on a nightly basis. Sucks for SGA, but that's just what happens in the NBA. But also for SGA, who knows? People might get tired of the narrative, and the award might end up in your home anyways. I would not be surprised if you had to put money on it, and we're not, telling people to go out there and bet. Who's going to win the MVP? Not who you want, not who you think deserves it.
I mean, I think SGA.
I think SGA, to the point of like how that media storm seems to be going. It's like they're pushing SGA a lot. The free throw merchant, some may call him. They push Jokic out, but you saw the highlight you sent me. Like he's got to do something like that. And then people are like, "Oh, look at this pass."
That was crazy for him to be that size and everything like that. And he would have got a bucket regardless. Like I mean, a step or two, it was going up.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was just a perfect kind of situation that just like lands right into your hand.
What is that about European players that have that playmaking ability? Because, even you can go back in history, and Sabonis, the first Sabonis, he was what Jokic was essentially, was just this playmaking big man that like everyone's like, what do we do about this?
I think it's just the style that they play, you have to kind of be creative.
More selfless, is that fair?
I mean, I guess you can do that, but I mean, it's fundamental base.
Yeah, they call travels a lot more over in Europe.
So they're okay with making the extra pass. They're okay with setting up things or whatnot because they know they're going to get theirs.
Yeah,
So yeah, you could say that the selfless, but they're they're not a score first or about me entirely. Like you haven't seen, I would say, anybody really in like from that the Euro region and everything like that kind of be like, oh, it's all me. And whether that's from Wemby, like Wemby's not necessarily like that. Giannis wasn't really like that, until a couple years ago.
Giannis is changing a little bit. That USA culture's
but I mean, they're going through him, so it's kind of different.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like Dirk wasn't like that.
No, Manu wasn't like that.
None of them.
Tony.
So I think they're fundamentally sound. It's like they're okay with making the extra pass, and it works and it gels with everybody because everybody's willing to do that.
Yeah, and I think selfless probably isn't the right word because it's like I don't watch American basketball and be like, man, these guys are just a bunch of selfish players. It's just the style is different.
They're making the right basketball pass
based on
whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Like, oh, this one may be contested or something like that. Like if they got to, they don't have a problem, but it always seems like they always make the best basketball pass possible in the scenario situation versus, more American style players and everything like that. They're taking that shot.
Yeah. And that's the best way to put it. Fun fact for you, fun trivia. Who passes the least when they go through the Olympics basketball? And they always have these fun stats. Which team passes the ball the least? America. Which team passes the ball the second least? Canada. North America, baby. 1 and 2. We don't spread the rock. We're shooting that every time. But you do see that. You get the Olympic play, and all of a sudden you're looking at teams. What was it? South Africa. They were shooting red hot from 3 as well. But it was also the ball movement on top of that. That allowed not just one guy, not just 2 guys, not just 3 guys, but like all 4 guys were just finding themselves wide open. And you have a good day shooting. Doesn't matter. Once again, doesn't matter how athletic you are. If you got wide open shots and good ball movement, you don't necessarily need to run to get open. Or I shouldn't say that. You don't necessarily have to break everyone's ankles to get an open shot. You just got to move the ball around enough. You see that all the time in the Olympics. It's also why I thought LeBron James, best version of him I've ever seen, was in the Olympics because his playmaking just took on another level. But as promised, let's talk some Husker football here. We'll talk about this for about 4 minutes, and then we'll throw it to break one more time. We got more comments from the press conferences and just little bits of what we're seeing in spring practice so far. Mike Eckler, clearly a fan favorite already. I don't know what the hell.
Juice.
I don't know what he was doing before practice day, but it did look like he came out of a coal mine. His face was like covered in dirt and grit. Oh my God. This guy looks like he's coming off like an oil rig, a coal mine or something, and then showing up to practice. So far, everything you're seeing, what's caught your eye?
I mean, first off, it's week 1. Everybody's excited. We'll see how the energy is and how things go when your back's sore, when your hamstrings are a little tight, when, mentally fatigued, you got school and everything like that, and your coach is on you about something so small.
Yeah, let me ask. I've never asked that question. Do you see a intentional or unintentional drop off in effort when school starts up? Where like not everybody, but like some guys clearly just aren't bringing it the same way.
No. If anything, it turns up and school drops off.
I guess positions are getting short up, and it's like, are you playing or not? You better figure it out.
It's go time. It's crunch time. You don't want to hear anything. You can make up certain things on the back end.
I'd like to flip that though, because you get better in the off season, because when you get to the real season, then it's like you're locked in. Now you're just winning games.
I mean, at
human instinct,
where they are right now, you got to think, so since the season is ended, they've been doing nothing but watching film, hearing a tape recorder over and over and over again, lifting weights over and over and over again. Now you get to go out, and do some fun things and kind of, it'll suck, for a little bit, but
count your money at home. You'll get over it.
Pretty much. But, so that's why I said, like, it flips, because it's like now, like that like you're juiced for that.
Yeah, I can see that. And like, that's also just a human element. Like the closer you get to it, you're going to be, it's just naturally more inclined to be fired up for it. I'll say, like, I should say it's a fear with NIL. I have no clue if this will ever have any real roots to it, but when you add NIL money, like, I hope there isn't guys out there that get the money and then feel too satisfied, and then they don't push as hard. Do you think that'd ever be like a real problem?
No, not with the people that are in Nebraska. I mean, you can say certain things and whatnot. The strength coach ain't going for that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Rule ain't going for that.
So if you have the right staff, that's not a problem. It's kind of what I'm getting.
For sure.
Okay. I could see that.
Because you can be all about that, all you want to, and they can make your life a living hell. And next thing you know, I forget this. I'm in a transfer portal. Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, all the money in the world, I don't care. Like, and it's y'all got it out for me. I'm mad and upset. Yeah, good, leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? So no, it's not like that.
Yeah, and we did see probably one of the funniest stories of the offseason so far, where he caught, I don't even know if this was NAL, but social media building up NAL with the TikTok, and he
made an example.
Yeah, he made an example.
And you, okay,
here's your
messed
bio.
around real quick. Okay, not doing that one again.
Yeah, well, when you got to look at yourself for an hour on a plate that you're pushing around on the ground that's got your bio on it, like, you probably feel pretty stupid about like how much you care about your media stuff when you're pushing that plate around.
You'll take a second thought before you do something like that again. Yeah. You'll make sure you're nowhere near anything because they're watching, especially in Nebraska.
Oh yeah,
come on now, like. I'm pretty sure Coach Rule gets tagged in a lot of things and whatnot.
Well, his daughters are the one that founded. They didn't snitch, but they were the ones that gave him.
They snitched. No,
they got him TikTok.
Not intentionally, but it's like
I wouldn't say it's like they didn't necessarily.
It wasn't on purpose.
They weren't the ones that caused the assassination. They were just in the plot. They were the tip to lead to it. Those freshmen
phone call.
I had to pay for it nonetheless. One other final note that I have Husker football early. Benari's big. Saw some footage and videos of him.
That's a 6'7" dude.
That's just the edge rusher.
Good
luck.
270. Yeah. Okay.
I was just watching him out there standing next to some of the other guys, and like I've seen the Husker football players walk by. They're massive already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they look like Power 4 athletes. And then you have Winari, and I'm like, he looks like a Power 3. I don't know what the upgrade is from Power 4.
Where did you find him, or what lab did he get built in?
Yeah, let me figure out what spring you're drinking out of, because I missed that one for sure. But yeah, that's just stuck out right away.
He getting all his Wheaties.
Yeah, and then some, maybe even some brand on the side. All right, we'll throw it to break. One more segment, Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pearsonell, Harrison Arns, talk to you in a little bit.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Husker fans, excited for some softball action at Bowlin Stadium this year, but can't commit to a full season ticket? They've got you covered. Introducing the On Deck Deal. Snag tickets to 5 Husker home games for as little as $30. This partial season lets you choose any 5 games, including one from the Maryland series. Whether you prefer general admission or reserve seating, packages start at just $30. Get your On Deck Deal today at huskers.com/tickets. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
You hungry? You know you are. We got chicken fingers, crunchy, fries are golden crispy, baby. Yo, don't forget about the cane sauce, baby. Ooh, right, here's the spot. Hello.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
I used to smoke. I thought a cigarette is my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Well, it's the middle of winter, the holidays are over, and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is! Cash Blast from your Nebraska Lottery is back. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with 0 down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pearson.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment. And as we're continuing to watch a little bit of March Madness here, good luck to Duke. I'll say this much. I know BYU is still down. My Lord, these teams are red hot. And if any of this keeps up, if you're Duke, you're going to have your hands full because they're just knocking down 3 after 3. It was there in the first half. It's picking back up again in the second half with 12 minutes to go. And like I said, BYU's down by 10, but their offense has been chugging along right along with it. Like I said before, though, Alabama managed to score over 50 points in that first half and almost gets the friendly roll on another 3-point shot. A lot of threes taken in this game. A lot of volatility to it. I'm a little bit surprised by Alabama as well, continuing to go shot for shot on the 3-point line, knowing that they got the lead by 10 points. But confidence is there.
All gas, no brakes.
Yeah, I still got Bama winning it, but man, I am impressed by BYU. I'll give it to them. These guys they're playing good basketball. About that much you can say. All right, wrapping up here with Husker football. Some closing thoughts. Where do you want to go? You want to talk about Dylan Raiola? You want to talk about some of the transfers, coaches?
No, we can talk about coaches. We're going to talk about the players every now and then. Let's talk about these coaches.
Yeah, and some of these guys might be gone. If talk about them. Seriously, it's not, as a person in the media now, that part kind of sucks. Like, you get used to these names. It's a lot harder. Year in, year out, just new names like crazy. And the coaching staffs are now so big. It's like, you want to know like 50 guys on this coaching staff alone. And then the players are transferring in and out. But what about the coaches? Which one do you want to talk about here?
We can talk about, the D-line coach. Of course, we hit the linebacker coach. He brought the juice and everything like that. For overall, from what I've heard and seen and everything like that, the coaches were extremely hand-on, extremely positive with stuff, but also, correcting players and whatnot. And it's good when you have that.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was before, but it just felt like, I'm not going to call any single coach out, but there wasn't a real professional atmosphere for what felt like years. But in particular in that bowl drought era, where after Bo Pelini, it just like banging our head at looking for leadership, and we get a lot of hype, a lot of handshakes, a lot of confetti and congratulations before anything changed. And then just felt like, we applauded, but nothing really changed. Like, we're still grasping for straws to figure out what are the actual roots of this program.
Yeah, I think and Rule's done, rebuilds.
Yeah, he's been
so
pretty good at him.
He understands what it is. So it's a little bit different when, you coming into some things. Frost had his highs and lows with stuff.
I'll also say this about Frost. He got screwed over by that COVID year really bad.
I think that all of America did.
But for where this program was at, like if you're Alabama, you get through that a lot better.
Yeah.
Because your name stays the same. When you're Husker football and you're in the process of building it up, and he was just starting to put together like some pretty decent rosters.
They had nice rosters and everything like that. But
and then the COVID year hit and stripped it all apart again.
QB play was terrible.
Yeah.
Whether Adrian, and I'm not saying he was terrible.
It was more of the offense.
He's hurt, playing with a broken jaw, playing with a messed up shoulder. It's only so much, you can expect, for him to do and everything like that. Then you get McCaffrey coming in here, and he wants to play quarterback. They want to move him somewhere else. Look at him, he gets drafted at something else. Funny how that works out. Then you got Fumble Sims and that situation and whatnot. He sneezes and the ball's going the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
It was all bad.
Yeah, and maybe that's too many bad things. You can't even point it out one thing.
You're the most important person in football on the team. The person who literally, it's only two people that touch the ball every play, and one of them, half of the issue, was necessarily not good play or consistent play from that position. And if you have that at that position, you see where things can turn.
Yeah, goes to the NFL, goes to high school is the only one, and even then, you're talking like C2 in Nebraska, where more running the ball than even throwing it, where you just got to hand it off. But yeah, seen plenty of NFL teams that just totally sink in the water because they missed on their quarterback. With that being said, we'll wrap it up on that. I'll ask you an NFL question, and then we'll get out of here. Give me the wins and losses for the Raiders' expectation. Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, Lockett, you got him in there as well. Geno Smith.
Honestly, it depends on what they do with it depends on what they do with that sixth pick.
Genty seems like Genty. I don't know. The mock drafts are all over the map.
Honestly, I really think they can get like 9-10 wins. Like, I'm not like they were in games last year. Offense was just terrible. You got Chip Kelly coming in there. He's going to establish things.
He didn't have the quarterback.
You got pieces and whatnot. You got Geno in there who's going to be smart. So that can 3 games that you lost out of the whatever it was can translate to win. So I'm thinking 9.
I can honestly see that. I'm a big Pete Carroll fan. I think he's a great coach, and he's one of those guys. You can say he's old. He's one of those older guys that still got the energy. Yeah. Like, he acts like he's 30 years old. So got a lot of faith in the Seahawks. 9 wins, 8 wins. I can definitely see something around that line. But that's going to wrap it up for us. What's Brewing? Chance of Brewington up next. Don't go anywhere.